After the ideation of a visual and choosing the right kind of gear, here comes the next and the most essential part: shooting it. We have with us today one of the greatest executioners of cinematography, who has always appalled us with his visuals in films like Satyaprem ki Katha, Freddy, Radhe, The Great Indian Family, and counting.
So good to finally have you here, and it was only possible because we caught you on your set.
Yeah.
And because we are also with one of the busiest DOPs in our country, and it's never he's never so easy to be found.
Nothing like that.
But the truth is, see, I had prepared a solid intro for you. That after Subhash Chandra Bose, the only other Bose that I know who's this much in demand is you. So thank you for being a part of DOP Portraits.
Absolutely my pleasure, and I'm not so busy. It's just that
We've been trying to catch
we've
each
been
other.
trying. Yeah, that is true.
So Dada, we'll get started. Tell us a little bit about your cinematography journey. You know, for people who want to know, where did you start? How did you start? How did you get here?
I didn't know I want to be a cameraman. I started off trying to possibly be a doctor or an engineer. I was very good at studies, and it just so happened that as I was growing, I realized that I can't work for someone. I can't do a 9 to 5 job. ये कहीं तो मतलब by the time I was 15, 16, I realized that मेरे से नहीं होगा. And that's when it was just a matter of luck that I ended up going to a film set. One of my father's friends was doing an ad and I just ended up being there. And when I was there, I saw that there was this whole system of a script, which is just words, you know, कि artist comes, ये होता है, ये होता है. They were doing an ad film. So they were doing that, and these words, they were becoming into visuals.
Okay.
And that's when I saw how much visual में कुछ लिखा है, but how much the cameraman was adding to it. And I saw that in the process, I could see how he was making visuals out of words, and they were meaningful. There was a communication. But I realized that ये ही होता है cameraman का काम. And this struck a chord with me somewhere. I didn't know कि मैं cameraman ही बनने वाला हूँ, but I knew मैं इसके पीछे जाऊँगा अभी. And I started shadowing that person wherever he was going. I just started shadowing. I asked him, can I just come hang on your set? And he said, yeah, sure. The biggest ad filmmaker in his point of time at that time was Rajiv Menon. And I was lucky enough to be on his sets where I started observing what he's doing, and I realized कि मेरे को यही करना है. And that is how my journey started.
At what point did you sort of start getting inclining towards getting behind a camera?
Rajiv Menon started directing a film called Kandukonde and Kandukonde. It was a Tamil film with Aishwarya Rai, Tabu, and Ajit. And this was when Mr. Ajit was really young. It was one of his initial films. And he told me that there is nothing that you can do, but you can give the clap. तो clap and continuity तो कर ले. और कैमरामैन और क्लैपर का ना हमेशा 36 का आंकड़ा होता था. They will always shout at a clapper boy.
सबसे ज्यादा
झाड़ वही खाएगा. And he would always get the biggest गाली on set. कि क्या wrong timing, किधर clap देना है, you don't know what is it, you idiot. All that would happen. रवि के चंदन figured on the 10th day कि ये क्लैपर मेरे से एक भी गाली नहीं खा रहा है. क्योंकि वो देखा कि वाइट लगाता है तो ये लड़का कैमरा के पास आता है, वो पूछता है लेंस क्या है, 100 है तो कैमरा वो आर्टिस्ट के फेस पे जाता है. तो वन डे ही कॉल्ड मी हियर, ही एंड हिज टीम. रैगिंग वाज अ बिग थिंग. आई एम जस्ट लेटिंग यू नो. उस टाइम पे रैगिंग वाज अ बिग थिंग. तो द टीम इन द इवनिंग कॉल्ड मी, कम हियर, हाउ यू नो वेयर टू कीप द क्लैप एंड ऑल दैट. तो ही सेड सर आई एम अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ कैमरा. तो ही सेड तू क्लैप और कंटिन्यूटी क्यों कर रहा है? ही सेड सर आई हैव नो अदर वे ऑफ बीइंग ऑन अ फिल्म सेट. दिस द ओनली वे आई कैन बी ऑन अ फिल्म सेट इज by observing Rajiv sir. And Rajiv sir said तू आ जा, तू क्लैप कंटिन्यूटी दे. That day he told me कि एक काम कर, तू शॉट पे तो क्लैप कंटिन्यूटी दे. बिफोर दैट यू शैडो माई टीम. हम लोग लाइट लगा रहे हैं, कटर लगा रहे हैं, यू just come,
be around,
just be around. And that's how I slowly, one mixing of कलर्स होता है ना, रेड एंड ब्लू मिक्स करो तो ग्रीन आता है, वैसा इधर से रेड आ रहा था, इधर से ब्लू आ रहा था, मैं बीच में ग्रीन बन रहा था. बिकॉज आई वॉज इन राजीव टीम ऑल्सो, आई वॉज इन रवीज टीम ऑल्सो. आई ऑलवेज बिलीव दैट वट एवर हैपन्स फॉर अ रीजन. वही टाइम पे व्हेन दैट फिल्म वाज गेटिंग ओवर, रवि सर गॉट अ कॉल फॉर डूइंग दिल चाहता है. एंड वी आर ऑल फ्रॉम चेन्नई. I have also grown up in Chennai. I may still have a Tamil slang in me, but at that point of time, he realized that when he's going to do this Hindi film where everybody, and this was all Farhan Akhtar, Ritesh,
totally.
they're all this, the whole first AD system came into this film with that.
Correct.
Where everybody's accountable. Before this, in films, everybody's doing everything. सब लोग सब कर रहे थे, बट दे ब्रॉट इन अ सिस्टम कि इसका काम यही होगा, ये इसका काम ये होगा, फर्स्ट एडी का ये होगा, फर्स्ट एसी का ये होगा, सेकंड एसी का. सो फॉर देम इन दैट सिस्टम दे ऑल्सो रियलाइज दैट they needed somebody who was well versed in Hindi, and that is how officially I came to Bombay. I was planted here to be the assistant for Dil Chahta Hai, and I've been here ever since.
I would like to understand what is your process when you're shooting an ad? Like, how much do you plan to pre-light? How much time do you spend in doing this?
Instinct.
Hmm.
I would say instinct. I would say all my life I have depended purely on instinct.
Okay.
मैं ज़्यादा सोचता नहीं. I just come onto the set and two things will guide me. One, what is the director looking for?
Correct.
See, because any DP will light this 15 different ways, you know.
Yeah.
You can light it from top, left, right, up, down. All of us have a process. But what drives that process is A, your own personal journey, and B, your own way of understanding what the situation is. Now, in my case here, I understood what the director wants. That is always point number one. वो बचपन से you've learned one thing. Cinematographer is job is to do what the director wants.
Yeah.
If you are able to do that, you will probably have a longevity in your career. It's not what I want.
Yeah.
Because if I want, then I can put a shaft of light and make it look very cinematic. But is it suiting the purpose of the story? Maybe not.
Correct.
If it is suiting the purpose of the story, do it by all means. But if it is not suiting the purpose, you always understand what the director wants and then you achieve that.
When did you get introduced to the whole Sony ecosystem, and when did you try using the Sony for the very first time? How was that journey? How was that evolution over the years?
The first time, I think I was reading about the Sony ecosystem and I realized that they have the extension along with the camera where the whole separate the lens block comes out and the camera block is somewhere else, and we are no more in our 20s and 30s where you know I can run with the camera with the same gusto and do that handheld. So when you read about that extension, especially everything about that, there is not a single person who said bad about it. So the same thing, I decided कि एक ad पे अपन try करेंगे इसको, and I tried it, I liked it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And when उसी पे थोड़ा हैंडल करना था, इट बिकेम लाइक ये तो मैं मोबाइल फोन पे शूट कर रहा है, एक हाथ में लेंस ब्लॉक लेके मैं शूट करो. सो probably selfishly out of the fact that it is weightless and the fact that its color space was always very good, and I just thought that this is suiting me and what I want to create, because मेरे दिमाग में जो है वो आ रहा है उसमें. Sony ecosystem is supporting what I want. So that's where I ended up trying to start with it, and then it was very nice. Sony India reached out and I reached out, and then they gave me, that time the FX6 was launching.
And the camera we were shooting this on.
This very same, I think it was launched at that time, and I did a small test of a small music video, and till today it has not been graded. That's when I realized this camera without grading is giving me what I want, and then I realized that the extension of this color space is the Venice, and across the cameras they have the same color space. No other camera person that I know would have this kind of an amazing color space which they are giving it to a Alpha 9 also or any of these things.
The maintenance of the whole color science throughout their body,
everything makes it so even. Like I can intercut a FX6 with a Burano, with a Venice, with a Alpha 9.
True.
And they will cut evenly across.
Yeah, true. And you've done that in a bunch of projects, like
I've done that. In fact, with one of the first commercials where I was shooting, there was a sequence which I still remember, that Hrithik is cycling in the main roads. Now, normally when you put a rig, you're used to these heavy cameras where how do you rig a cycle? Or you will put a GoPro which will never be good.
Or you'll be on a loading car or whatever.
So we put, I think at that time the A7S3 was just newly released. So I put an A7S3. Hrithik was very happy. It intercut very well with the ad, and I realized the power of the ecosystem of Sony. And ever since then, it's just been learning, adapting, and going more and more and more ahead with it.
The Sony cameras in particular are also very sensitive to light in a nice way. You know, they take on light. Even they handle low light scenes so well. How has that played a role in your workflow over the years?
A big way. When you're in the film camera zone, you're used to ISOs.
Correct.
We used to shoot 100 ISO outdoor and 500 ISO indoor. तो lighting उस हिसाब से आपके दिमाग में set है.
Correct.
Now Sony is one of those few people who have a dual ISO. Like you, me, we are all part of the Sony ecosystem. There's no point in going into that. We are not making a brochure for Sony, but the magic of 2500 ISO we both know. And that is where on a set indoor like this. Now, like I said, behind me, I'm going to create a outdoor day effect. Now to create outdoor day effect means you're generally thinking tons of light. But the moment you're on 2500 ISO, you've brought it down by 1/4. Your light list has come down by 1/4. Production is happier by 1/4 less of a lighting budget.
Quicker overall.
Quicker overall. So all those things are all thanks to the dual ISO. So that is how Sony has made a big impact. We used to waste time on changing filters. They've made indoor NDs inbuilt, So everything with time is getting faster and better. In fact, now there is one section which I actually want to shoot with the autofocus. Now inside a car, I'm moving a camera. It's tricky, but now inside a car, when I move it with the autofocus, it will hold focus.
Yeah, it's tracking.
It's tracking. That is, I think, it came out this year, right? Last year, 2024, it came out.
Correct.
And if I had the new Alpha 9s, I mean, if I'm shaking my hand also, it will stabilize and come back. Which reminds me that for this ad, I'm going to now tell them Alpha 9 leg gaya.
Alpha 9. हम एक छोड़ जाते हैं यहाँ पे. After this shoot, we can leave one behind. I think what they've really done well is because Sony as an ecosystem also makes movies.
Yeah.
They're a production company. They're a massive distribution company. I think they've sort of understood what filmmakers really need and where the future is going in terms of AI, bringing in autofocus, bringing in, tracking, low light systems, stabilization. I think these are all factors which they've sort of really understood from a filmmaker's point of view and where the world is headed.
I agree.
Like imagine films being shot on an FX3, the entire Hollywood film, the creator.
Yeah. So, I mean, the creator, right? So, imagine that you've given that kind of output on an FX3.
Imagine.
Now you're going to question how much do I need a Venice 2? Because if your basic camera is so good, then imagine what the other cameras can do, the kind of latitude it can handle. Or the basic difference is only the signal processing.
That's all. That's pretty much it, yeah.
And it depends on how much of signal processing do you want in which project you want.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. You can choose as per your project.
Absolutely. Like I'm telling you on this ad, I have a Sony Venice that is running, and for all the rigs, I have calling for a Sony DSLR.
Yeah.
Because I feel it is faster, it is more nimble. If I want to do it in my hand, I'll do it in my hand because it is a celebrity commercial. I don't have the time to take a cumbersome rig and try to figure my space.
Correct.
I'll take it in my hand and I'll do it.
Correct. So much easier.
Yeah. So they, I think, are continuously evolving. Like, 2 years back, we had spoken about the autofocus. They brought it out.
Yeah.
We thought about the stabilization. It has become
way better.
It has become standardized.
Yeah.
It's not even way better. It's become standardized across the board.
Yeah.
They are also putting out the virtual reality screens like we saw. Like it's only getting better and better and better. So it's as if they are trying to be one step ahead of the game.
Correct.
And it is for us to learn from there ki kya karna hai.
Correct. And the fact that they have cameras of all sizes, which I think is a standout in terms of when you hiring anything from the ecosystem or getting anything.
Absolutely.
कि एक alternative है जो color science match कर देगा.
Forget their cameras. Look at the G Master lenses.
Yeah, the lenses, exactly.
I can intercut a G Master lens with a Sony Venice, which I've probably shooting with a Master Prime or something. They will intercut. The optics are so good.
Yeah.
It's nothing today that is like, this lens is not matching with this lens. They're all working very well.
True.
I'm in love, especially with the G Masters.
Is there anything, any specific scene, any commercial that you thought was really challenging and the outcome of it makes you really proud of it? Is there anything that you can think of?
Of recent times, there's only one job that I remember, which kind of has struck with me because when I went for the location, it was a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to touch ceiling. You're not allowed to touch walls.
Correct.
It is a celeb commercial. It had Kartik Aaryan and Tara Sutaria. It was for Engaged Duo. The director is also very good with his visual language. He's very sure with what he wants. So when you put all of these three things together, when I stood at that location, I thought, आज तो मेरा career खत्म हो गया because I don't know how to light this. I don't know how to deliver what they want. I genuinely had no idea. And that is when I realized that, okay, let me think a bit more. And I eventually got these LED lights which I could put on a truss out of frame. I managed it, but when you look at it, you will feel like I've shot in a set. That made me proud of the fact that one day before, when I went on the tech recce, I was so clueless. But somewhere, as I said, instinct kicks in. Somehow something said ki I can do this, that the approach only was not ki I will quit. The approach was how to solve it.
Yeah.
Actually, if you ask me, this is something that I would tell every cameraman. who's trying to make a mark of his own. That it's not like I made a mark of my own कि wow कि मैंने celeb के साथ काम किया, मैंने कुछ achieve किया, ऐसा नहीं है. Every day I come to set, every day you will have a new problem.
New problem, correct.
And that will be something that you will try to solve. You should come to set not saying कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है, मुझे वो करना है, मैं कुछ ऐसा करेगा.
Correct.
You should come to set and you should just try to be a team player. I'll tell you, and I was shooting Freddy. We were supposed to shoot inside the house. We reached the location. Artist का आज का एक दिन है. When I reached the location, art was not ready. They was almost contemplating how will we finish because tomorrow the artist is not there, for example. So when you reach, and it's not like I also added to the problem. I wasn't like saying ki, oh, how will I shoot today?
Correct.
It's not happening. And outside it was raining. It was foggy. We were shooting in Panchgani. And I just realized if it's foggy, the light is not looking bad. The fog is adding. It was anyway, the entire mystery ka element was needed in the climax. I suggested, why don't we shoot it outside? He said, arey, indoor ka scene outside. And that's where you see the director also said, let's shoot it. Maybe there is something good here.
Finding solution.
You find a solution to it. You don't come and put your hands up and say, हाँ क्या करें? Even so, for example, on this ad, there is a shot where a bonnet opens and Hrithik is standing. It's not like I can put a camera in a real bonnet. I can't. Inside the engine compartment, I can't. So instead of trying to say, oh my God, it's such a tough shot, how to do it, I just said, give me a separate piece of bonnet. It's so simple. Put it on an Apple box and just open the bonnet. So as long as you're trying to solve the day, you will always be remembered by somebody. If not the director, the producer, you
Someone's
have to
watching,
be somebody's friend on set and not be very full of yourself. मैं तो ये है. No, you come to set as if you don't know your job and you try to finish that job as if it's your first day. That attitude will help you.
And I think it's such an important message because that's something that makes you really an important team player. And I think everybody on set has a role to play.
Absolutely.
And to make sure that the train's moving.
Absolutely.
Right? Not
Absolutely.
stuck somewhere. One last question which I had to ask, which is based on what you're wearing. I have seen him wear really comfortable clothes. So the question is, this is completely a non-DOP portrait question, but what do you decide to wear on a set? Whether do you choose being comfortable or do you choose looking apt for set, or how do you plan?
I would choose comfort.
Comfort
Any day. If it's hot, you'll see me in kurtas. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि I have not worn jackets and these things. I would wear them, but if you're comfortable, you should be comfortable in your own skin.
Absolutely.
You know? I think that also shows that you're not trying to be someone else. This is what I am. This is what I am.
Which is why we didn't have to do any costume or wardrobe meeting or discussion with him, because I had a feeling he'll be absolutely comfortable, and that's exactly how we wanted to catch him. And I think this conversation was fantastic, getting you on your set with some interjections in between. But thank you so much for your time, Dada. This was really, we needed to do this conversation and we've done it.
I hope it's been useful.
It's absolutely been more than useful. Thank you so much, Dada, for being a part of DOP Portraits. I think this DOP portraiture of yours is going to help a lot of budding and aspiring cinematographers, DOPs, and the community in general. And we will let him continue his work. We will let him light this setup for celebrities coming in tomorrow for a wonderful ad that he'll pull off again. Thank you so much, Dada. Thank you for having us here on your set.
Pleasure is mine. Pleasure is. Thank you for watching and probably bearing with me for the last half an hour.
No, I'm sure people are going to probably watch this again. Thank you, guys. What an amazing conversation with the man himself, right on his set one day before he shoots another incredible ad. All of this makes us realize how much truly goes behind creating dream visuals and bringing them to life. And I think that's what makes every single DOP's work so unique and special. That's what actually makes cinema so special and unique.